Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and thought, where did the time go? Maybe your joints ache a little more than they used to. Maybe the house feels a little too quiet now. Or maybe, just maybe, there's a small voice inside you whispering, is this really how the rest of my life will go? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Getting older brings change, some of it beautiful, some of it challenging. But the truth is, this chapter of your life can still be filled with purpose, strength, and joy. It's not too late. You're not too old. And no, you haven't missed your chance. The key is knowing a few life-changing secrets, things they don't always talk about at the doctor's office or in magazines. These aren't magic pills or complicated routines. They're simple shifts, small truths that can help you wake up each day feeling a little more in control, a little more at peace, and a lot more alive. Today, we're going to talk heart to heart about 7 of those secrets. And by the end of this conversation, you might just feel a little lighter, a little more hopeful, and ready to take on life again, not as it was, but as it can be. Let's begin with something we all crave deep down, whether we admit it or not: the feeling of being needed. You see, one of the biggest shifts after 60 is that the roles we've played, parent, worker, caregiver, start to fade. The phone doesn't ring as much. The calendar has more blank spaces than plans. And it's easy to start believing the lie that we don't matter anymore. But here's the truth. Your value doesn't disappear with age. It deepens. The first life-changing secret is this: find one thing each day that gives you purpose. Then, do it. It doesn't have to be grand. It could be checking in on a neighbor, tending to your plants, writing a letter, or even learning something new just because you want to. Purpose isn't always found in big accomplishments. It often lives in the small moments where you feel useful, creative, or connected. And when you make it a habit to engage in purpose, even in a tiny way, it shifts everything. It gives you a reason to get up. It lifts your spirit, and it reminds you that your life still matters deeply. Now, once you start reconnecting with purpose, another powerful shift begins to happen. You begin to notice how your energy responds, and that brings us to the second secret. Energy doesn't just come from rest, it comes from movement. You might be thinking, but I don't move like I used to, and that's perfectly okay. The goal isn't to become an athlete, it's simply to keep your body in motion. The truth is, your body was designed to move, even gently. And when you stop moving, the aches grow louder, the fatigue settles in, and even your mood can sink. But here's the encouraging part. You don't need a gym membership or a personal trainer to feel the benefits. A short walk around your block, stretching while you watch TV, standing up and sitting down from a chair 10 times a day, these little actions wake your body up. They lubricate your joints. They signal to your brain that you're still in the game. And most importantly, they create a powerful mental shift from "I can't" to "I'm doing it." Remember this: your body hears everything your mind says. If you start moving, even just a little more today than yesterday, your body will start responding in ways that surprise you. Now let's talk about something that quietly affects nearly every part of your well-being, but often gets ignored after a certain age: your emotional diet. Not just what you eat, but what you feed your mind. And that brings us to the third life-changing secret. Protect your mental space like your health depends on it, because it does. It's easy, especially in our later years, to absorb a steady stream of negativity, whether it's the news, other people's complaints, or even our own inner critic. And when that negativity becomes your daily background noise, it drains your spirit faster than any physical illness. The truth is, you have the power to choose what you let into your mental space. You can decide what you read, what you watch, and who you allow to influence your peace. Start replacing some of the noise with things that uplift you. Listen to music that brings back good memories. Watch videos that make you laugh. Talk to people who make you feel seen and heard. And most importantly, speak kindly to yourself. You are not a burden. You are not forgotten. You are not too old to feel joy. Guard your mind the way you'd guard your home, because peace, once protected, becomes your greatest treasure. Now you might be thinking, that sounds nice, but life is still lonely sometimes. And yes, it can be. The silence in the room, the empty seat at the table, these moments are real. But here's something most people don't realize. Loneliness is not always the absence of people. Sometimes it's the absence of meaningful connection, and that leads us naturally into the next truth. But we'll ease into that together in the next part of this conversation. Let's take a deep breath together. Feel your shoulders drop. Let go of the tension you didn't even know you were holding. You've already taken a powerful step just by being here, by choosing to listen, reflect, and maybe even take one small action today. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to begin, and we're just getting started. So, where were we? Ah, yes, that quiet kind of loneliness that sneaks in, even when you're technically not alone. It's not always about having people around. Sometimes you can be surrounded by others and still feel like nobody really sees you. That's why the fourth life-changing secret is this: seek connection, not just company. As we age, it becomes easy to settle for surface-level interactions. A quick hello at the grocery store, a friendly but rushed conversation with a neighbor. Those moments matter, but what your soul is really hungry for is depth, real connection. The kind that makes you feel understood, accepted, and appreciated for exactly who you are, not who you used to be. So how do you create that? It starts with being willing to reach out, even if it feels awkward. Maybe there's a local book club, a walking group, or a community class you could attend. Maybe it's just calling someone and saying, "I was thinking about you. How are you really doing?" People are often waiting for someone else to make the first move. You can be that someone. And if being around others isn't always possible, even writing letters, joining an online group, or sharing your story with someone new can bring connection to your life. You don't need dozens of friends, you just need one or two real ones, the kind where you can laugh, be honest, and sit in silence without it feeling strange. The kind of friendships that feed your spirit, not drain it. Now, while connection with others is vital, there's another relationship that matters just as much, maybe even more. And that's the relationship you have with yourself. That leads us to the fifth secret, and it's one many people never learn no matter how old they are. Learn to forgive yourself, fully and finally. Let's be honest. We've all made mistakes, said things we wish we could take back, held on to regrets that sneak into our minds late at night. Maybe it's the way we raised our kids, or something we did in our marriage, or simply the feeling that we could have done more with our life. These thoughts are heavy, and over time they don't just weigh on your mind, they wear down your health, your confidence, and your peace. But here's the truth that no one tells you loudly enough. You are allowed to move on. You are allowed to say, "I did the best I could with what I knew then," and mean it. You are allowed to give yourself the same grace you'd give a dear friend. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending the past didn't happen. It means saying, "I'm done letting it control me." When you forgive yourself, you free up space for joy to return. You stop dragging the weight of yesterday into every tomorrow. And let me tell you, nothing feels lighter than that. Of course, learning to forgive and be kind to yourself brings us to something just as important, something that too often gets left out of conversations about aging. The sixth secret is one. You might not expect, don't stop dreaming. Yes, you heard that right. It doesn't matter how many candles were on your last birthday cake. There is still room in your life for dreams. Maybe you've always wanted to paint, or play an instrument, or learn another language. Maybe you've always wanted to volunteer, write your story, or visit a place you've only seen in pictures. The dream doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be yours. Dreaming gives you direction. It gives you something to look forward to, And it tells the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you're still growing, still becoming, still alive in every sense of the word. I once met a woman in her 80s who took up baking from scratch. She'd never had the time before, raising children and working long hours. But now her kitchen was her playground. She told me, "When I'm baking, I forget about my aches. I feel like a girl again." That's the power of a dream. It doesn't reverse time. It helps you feel alive in the time you have. So if there's something inside you whispering, maybe I could still listen to it. Give it space. Give it a chance. You don't have to chase it fast. You just have to start. And while we're talking about doing things that light you up, there's one more truth that ties everything together, and it's one we'll ease into shortly. But before we move on, let's pause for a moment. Let this sink in. Your age does not define your worth. Your past does not limit your future, and your story is not over yet. What we've been talking about, purpose, movement, emotional peace, connection, forgiveness, and dreaming, these are not just nice ideas. They are tools. They are your keys to a life that still feels rich and meaningful. Not because it looks like it did 20 or 30 years ago, but because it's being lived fully right now. You may not have control over everything that happens to your body, but you have so much control over how you choose to show up for your life. And sometimes, that choice starts with a small whisper, "I'm not done yet." So let's take that whisper and turn it into action. There's one final secret I want to share with you, one that might just change how you see the rest of your days. We'll step into that next, and I think it's going to touch something deep inside you. That whisper, "I'm not done yet." It matters more than you know. It's your inner spirit trying to remind you that life, even now, still holds more for you. And that brings us to the seventh and final life-changing secret, one that ties everything we've talked about together in the most beautiful way. Joy is not something you wait for. It's something you choose every single day. Now, I know that may sound simple, maybe even too simple. But the truth is, we've been trained to believe that joy is a reward, something that comes after everything goes right, after the bills are paid, after the doctor gives us good news, after the kids call, after we feel better. But what if joy isn't the result? What if joy is the starting point? I want you to imagine waking up and saying to yourself, "Today, I will find one small thing that brings me joy." Maybe it's a warm cup of tea, a bird outside your window, a song from your childhood. Maybe it's sitting in the sun, or hearing someone laugh, or simply taking a deep breath and knowing you're still here. That mindset doesn't just make you feel better emotionally. It actually changes your brain. Science has shown that actively seeking joy, even in small doses, improves memory, lowers blood pressure, reduces stress, and increases longevity. Joy is not just a feeling, it's a healing force. The most joyful people aren't the ones with the most money or the best health or the busiest social life. They're the ones who make a choice every day to notice the good, to embrace the simple, to laugh at the little things, and to let go of what they can't control. And you can be one of those people too. You really can. No matter how many years you've lived, you can wake up tomorrow and say, "Today is a good day because I decided it would be." Now, when you put all 7 of these secrets together, purpose, movement, protecting your mental peace, connection, self-forgiveness, dreaming again, and choosing joy, what you begin to create is not just a better day, it's a better life. And this life of yours? It's still full of chapters waiting to be written. You might be thinking, "But I've already lived most of my life. Isn't it too late?" Let me tell you something from the bottom of my heart. No, it's not too late. You don't need 20 more years to find peace. You don't need perfect health to feel happiness. You just need this moment, this one, right here. You've already proven how strong you are by surviving, by enduring, by caring for others. Now it's your time. Your time to care for you, to honor what you've been through, to enjoy what's right in front of you, and to believe that even now, life can still surprise you in the most beautiful ways. I want you to picture this, an 85-year-old woman dancing barefoot in her living room. No audience, no reason, just music and movement and joy. A 72-year-old man planting tomatoes for the first time, watching them grow like little miracles. A 68-year-old widow laughing so hard at a joke from a new friend that she has to wipe tears from her eyes. These aren't dreams, they're real stories, and they can be your story too. But it starts with that first step, that small shift in the way you see yourself, not as someone who's winding down, but as someone who's still very much alive, with wisdom to share, with joy to feel, with love to give and receive. So take a moment and ask yourself, what small thing can I do today to move toward a fuller, happier life? Maybe it's writing down one thing you're grateful for. Maybe it's calling a friend. Maybe it's sitting quietly and just breathing, letting yourself feel present and proud of how far you've come. You deserve peace. You deserve joy. And you absolutely deserve to feel alive and valuable in this season of life. I want to thank you for being here, with me, for giving me your time, your attention, and your open heart. And I want to remind you, you are not alone on this journey. There's a whole community out here, people just like you, who are choosing to live with purpose, with love, and with strength. If something in today's video resonated with you, if even one of these secrets made you pause and say, "That's what I needed to hear," please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, your challenges, your victories. Your voice matters, and it could inspire someone else too. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment of support, encouragement, and real, honest conversations about what it means to age with strength, grace, and joy. Here's what I want to leave you with. Growing older doesn't mean fading away. It means stepping into a new kind of power, the kind that comes from wisdom, from lived experience, from knowing what truly matters. You are strong. You are worthy. And your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead, waiting for you to reach out and grab them. So go ahead. Live boldly, love deeply, laugh often, and don't forget to choose joy every single day. Here's to living your best life at any age. You've got this. And if you're still watching, then that tells me something very important. You're ready. Ready to live more intentionally, more joyfully, and with a deeper sense of purpose than ever before. You didn't come here just to hear some tips. You came because deep down, something inside you knows it's time to take your life back, to stop just getting through the days and start truly living them again. So let's take a moment, just you and me, to reflect on what these 7 life-changing secrets really mean for you. Not just in theory, but in the everyday moments that make up your real, lived experience. Maybe it starts with how you get out of bed in the morning. Instead of sighing at the aches or groaning about the chores ahead, you pause. You say, "This body has carried me through decades. I'm still here, and that means something." You stretch, you breathe deeply, and you thank your feet for carrying you, your hands for helping you, your eyes for still seeing this beautiful world, even if not as clearly as before. That's the power of gratitude. That's the power of presence. And when it's time to make choices throughout the day, you now have tools. You remember that your purpose doesn't have to be flashy or complicated. It can be as simple as being a kind word to someone else, or nurturing a plant, or reading something that makes your soul feel nourished. You choose movement, not because someone tells you to, but because you want your body to keep moving with you, not against you. Even 5 or 10 minutes of gentle walking or stretching can make a world of difference, and you know it now. You tie. Also notice when your peace is being stolen. By the news, by drama, by old memories that stir up guilt or regret. But now, instead of letting those feelings rule the day, you gently place them aside. You say, "Not today. Today I protect my peace." That's wisdom. That's self-respect.